Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel Explain IMO.
Okay, this is just a channel that we're going to be trying out. It's going to be featuring just dual commentary on Assassin PK in a game called Perfect Worlds. Today we're on a server called Syndicate, and this is from the perspective of an assassin called Intuition.
Right, so this time we're just doing a rather medium scale mass PK on the server Syndicate. We're a 4-man squad with some buffers from the faction called La Clique. Today we'll be facing two other factions called Entity and Dynasty. It is a 3-way fight, so PK rules are slightly different, but not really. We'll just basically be having random allies and random enemies in between.
Okay, so we're going to start this fight off, or we're going to try to, with double sparking. Double spark in stealth is basically going to be the biggest asset any assassin has in the beginning of a fight, because you can spark in stealth, people won't notice you, and you suddenly have a lot more weapon damage at your disposal.
But the problem with double sparking from stealth is that most people tend to consider double sparking as a noob tactic, because right here, see, we just double spark and I don't kill the cleric, and usually at that point people just call the assassin noob because, I mean, you double spark from stealth and you didn't kill the cleric, so you obviously fail. But that's not necessarily the case, because as you can see, double sparking can often be used as more than simply a stealth kill tactic. You can use it to save your life, as I just done there, and you can use it as an extra damage boost, as we just observed right here.
So even though double sparking is considered noob, we just said it was good, as you can see, that was just an other example. It also heals you, and it gives your charm some time to tick, so it's kind of going to be like the Vigor skill that Psychics have, where you get an extra few seconds for your charm to tick, except that you can choose when to do it. Now, the good thing about Spark on Assassins is that even though other classes might think 200 chi is a lot, the Assassin doesn't actually think much of using 200 chi. It's actually really easy to get. Rising Dragon, as the Sage version, gives 180 chi, and a few more attacks will give you enough to double spark.
And that's the thing about double spark, is that you can actually use double spark to help you survive rather than using your genie. As you can see, instead of using genie to survive as soon as possible, if you use double spark, it actually allows you to buy yourself more time, and then you can use your genie when things get dire.
Genie is going to be used when you're heavily debuffed and sparking won't save you, or when you're stunned and you can't spark at all. So at this point, most of the people are dead, I think. There's just this Seeker who's randomly derping around, and this Troll Barb who's from Mirai. He's really troll, I like him. Anyways, this Seeker in a moment is going to be trying to survive, and he's also going to try a sparking tactic, but as you can see in a few moments, it's not going to be working too well.
Right, the thing about sparking is that even though it's supposedly new, it actually is not that easy to execute. You should actually time your sparking at a time when it would try and block as many hits as possible. Now see, he managed to block my spell cutter, which might have killed him, but the problem there was he timed his double spark too early. As you can see, even though he double sparked, I still had enough time to put in 2 more skills which killed him. And that's the thing. Even though sparking is a save, it's not a guaranteed save, and in a situation like that where your charm wasn't near ticking, it would have been better to actually use your genie. Here we just observe the rest of their team members coming back. As I mentioned, this is a 3-way fight, which is why the Barb is actually attacking the Wizard, even though we're trying to kill them both at the same time. Now, the Wizard is down, and we have pretty much just the Barb left. This is why we're now targeting the Barb, because we don't want to target the Barb first. When it comes to targeting in Mass PK, you really want to kill the people who are either going to make your life harder or are going to make their life easier.
Such as this Cleric and their Vino earlier we killed, but now we're going to focus on killing the Cleric because, as mentioned earlier, they can DD pretty well, and they're also just going to make our lives miserable by purifying and healing everyone in their team. So if you notice me, I'm triple sparked and I just one-shot everyone, including barbs. So that's why sparking is great, I suppose. So one thing you wanted to notice there is that we tried to get on the people before they got buffed. The thing about buffs is that it makes infinitely harder targets to kill. So if you can get to a target that's just respawned, for example, or is just purged, then you honestly want to go for them first, because you can drop them a lot faster than you can drop any other target, and that's going to help your team more. Avoiding purge, I think, also.
Right, and that's pretty much why I instantly tally-stunned the Venom. I saw her casting a purge, and that meant I'm going to lose my buffs, and that's going to make my life harder, which is why I want to avoid it. So we have pretty much all their support and all their DD down now. At this point, their Barb is just playing a tank target, a tank's role. He won't survive if this goes on, but the thing he's trying to do is he's just trying to survive long enough. And by long enough, I mean when any of his teammates come back, like that Venom you see coming right there. Because the Venom is coming back, it means we have to target the Venom as soon as possible, because otherwise we're going to lose our buffs, and we don't want that to happen. So even though the Barb pretty much had no options left at that point, he managed to survive by just tanking us until his teammate come back and forcing us to switch our targets.
Now, if we were worse players, we might have gone for the Barb first. Why? Maybe we hated him or something. That's an extraordinarily bad idea. If you're targeting people based on whether you like them or not, that's not going to really contribute to your team. Instead, you should go for, as you can see, purge targets, unbuff targets, such as this one.
And you should always try and target or have your team purge their support class. Like right there, we called an assist on the cleric. The purge went in, our DDs went in, and the cleric pretty much dropped instantly. And the implication of this, of course, is that the cleric won't be able to heal their teammates and won't be able to buff their teammates. If instead we try to finish the Barb off, that wouldn't have really gone too well, because at that point, the cleric would have to be spam healing and spam purifying the Barb. We're not going to kill a Barb who's being healed and purified, and we would have lost our buffs due to the Venom, since we were too busy targeting the Barb and not the Venom.
So, yeah, just remember to keep your targets in mind. I'm not actually sure what goes on here. We try to drop the Vino again, but unfortunately he gets purged through title. So a lot of people don't realize, but Sage title is not going to be 100% effective. It even says so. It says 66% chance to avoid debuffs. That 66% is not immortal. It doesn't mean you are never going to be debuffed. It means you're only going to be debuffed some of the time. And this has rather large implications.
Which means even if I cycle my title and anti-stun perfectly, with enough tries, it's eventually going to land a debuff on me. So, since are not immortal, if you have a Sin you really want to kill and you call an assist on them, they are going to die. Right now, we're just pretty much doing our regular target the Venom thing. And once again, there goes all their DDs. So it's only their Barb left, and he's trying to play the same tactic again. But the problem here is we don't have enough magic DDs to drop in fast enough. So you see, we try and attack the Barb, but he says Iron Guards. Even though the Purge this immunity, that Iron Guard of 12 seconds bought enough time for many of their DDs to return.
And so now the three-way fight returns, and the Cleric's back, because as you just noticed, the Barb's getting buffs again. That's why you want to go for Clerics, and Vino's generally first. Something's random about to happen, I think. Doesn't the Archer come out and randomly barrage people?
Right, at this point I'm trying to find the optimal target. I noticed that there is a Cleric, but I can't seem to find him on the ground, so he's probably in the air. I believe, yes, he comes back onto the ground right here. I do an AoE on the Barb, but I know I was in range of the Cleric, so it didn't really matter who I was AoEing off of. We called the assist on the Cleric as usual, and in a few moments...
Oh, here's the random...
We have the...
Oh, here it is. Yeah, he gets dropped because of Purge. There he goes. And then there's
and maybe because of the barrage.
Yeah, this random barrage here. I have no idea what this person is doing, honestly.
Barrage is actually a good idea if you have support. Unfortunately, he didn't. That's the thing about archers. Archers are actually a really good DD class in mass PK, but the thing is, they kind of suck if they don't have any people to support them.
See, if an archer is soloing, even though they have anti-stunts and such, they can only remain away for so much longer. For example, comparing them to a barb, the barb can tank only for so much time, the archer can run for only so much time. The archer is really only good when it's being left unfocused, and that can only happen if it's not the only thing out there. That is, there are other people helping it.
And that's probably one of the reasons why many people complain that archers are underpowered. But honestly, if any archer has a good team, they're pretty much the most powerful person out there. Now, you see there that I just used Faith. It was
to kill someone.
Pretty much. It was lucky that the wizard actually decided to spark me. I didn't actually predict the wizard would spark me there, but the face saved me from the spark. I was actually using the face to try and kill the wizard because he was pretty much at low HP and his charm ticked. Most people would probably use faith defensively, but however, I actually used faith offensively, and that's the thing that a lot of people sometimes don't do. Is that faith by its nature is defensive skill. You can actually use it offensively and finish off your target, because sometimes a good offense is the best defense.
Okay, and the Barb is once again the only person left out here. He's really a troll. He goes into Invoke just now, so as you can notice, we're not using a lot of chi-intensive skills on him, because he's an Invoke, and we can't really kill him, so might as not well waste anything, and instead we waste our stuff on people like the Seeker here.
Yep, I see him come out, and he pretty much uses Sacrificial Slash. For that reason, I just jump on him immediately, and I try to drop him. A Seeker who uses Sacrificial Slash is really squishy. But normally, I wouldn't attack the Seeker. However, since he just Sacrificial Slashed and he was the only person out there, he made a great target. But as soon as he AD'd, I switched target immediately. It's never a good idea to stick on the same target if they're immune. You're not going to do anything to them if they're immune, so why would you continue attacking them if they are?
And this Vino is a troll. More sparking, as you can see. Does the Vino die at this point?
The Venom might die at this point, but he doesn't. He used Bramblehood, which meant that even though it's not an immunity, I had to switch target because it's a 75% reduction, which is still pretty high. So here goes pretty much our targeting. We try to kill first the Veno or the Cleric, depending on whichever one is closer. But I actually go for the Wizard first, because he is purged, and there was a chance I could drop him instantly, and didn't need to kill the Cleric. After we finish the Veno, we try to go for their DDs. Their DDs would be Wizard, Archers, or Psychics. I find that Archers are probably the first DD that you want to target, not only because they're squishy, but because they can purge you. So that's two reasons to target the Archer first. After the Archer, we would either go for the Psychic or the Wizard. I personally would go for the Wizard, unless the Psychic is in Black Voodoo, because White Voodoo Psychic is pretty much hard to kill.
Something about melee assist attacking is that because you're melee, you don't actually have a lot of time on your hands. You have to do things quickly, and even though there might be a better target, they might also be 50 meters away. And if you're melee and you're sparked, that spark has a timer, and you should really try to use your time most effectively. So whether I should go for that Cleric who's 50 meters away, or this Wizard who's right next to me while I'm triple sparking, it's a matter of personal judgment.
Now at this point, we noticed that they brought a lot of people in. We brought one more assassin to our team, called Jibs. But at this point, if you look at the overall fight, you'll notice that they have 4 more people coming in, and we have one of our Veno is down. I'm unbuffed, our other Veno is unbuffed, and this is pretty much a bad situation. Now, there's 2 things you can do at this point. You can either bail out, or you can just not bail out, which is what I do.
So basically, that just means die. For some people, kill-death ratio might be important. For others, kills might be more important than kill-death ratio. But yeah, as you can see, not a good position to be in, and there the video ends because the Sin died.
Yeah, at this point, that was pretty much my last resort. I might have survived a bit longer if I managed to get the spark in, but the cleric sealed me, and that was that. So, thank you everyone for watching. If you like what we're doing, please hit a like and subscribe to us. If you want to see the perspective from different people or from different classes, please let us know and we will make more videos. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.